here we are. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Here
Eve.
we are. It's our Christmas show. Can you believe it, Val? We've actually made it to Christmas.
It's hard to believe.
It's been so difficult this year, but we were like, no, we are definitely going to do Christmas. And this year, we're going to make it fun.
You got to have a little bit of laughter after the year we've had.
And may I say, you look absolutely amazing.
So do you. You look so cute.
Well, Mrs. Christmas is over there and meets Little Red Riding Hood. So how's your week been, Val?
Not the best.
Yeah, I've heard there's been some struggles. What's been going on?
Well, my mom, my aunt, and both of my girls have COVID.
Wow.
Then I had a major leak under my kitchen sink. Had to rip all that out, replace all of that. And I had to take my daughter's 13-year-old kitty and have her put to sleep.
So it's been a really shitty week.
It has been a very shitty week, yes.
This whole year, 2023, has been so difficult. So many of us have had such a crap year. And I was just saying before we came on air, like I know of 3 stabbings today, just in 2 areas near me. And
That's
it's
awful.
like, they're young as well, youngsters. And you just think to yourself, this has just been a terrible year. And they do say that it's not going to get any much better. And
I don't even say that anymore because
No.
I know the minute you say, what else can happen? Something else happens.
Absolutely. And so, like, as I was saying to Scotty when we did the show on Tuesday, not everybody is going to be celebrating Christmas, and not everybody is going to be able to, like, be with those that they love, or we've lost people we love. So we do know, but we just wanted to bring a bit of fun, at least a few laughters for tonight, because God damn it, Val, you and I need it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are going to wait. We'll be having our Christmas next weekend for our Christmas New Year's together. So
That's lovely, because it's to be New Year's Eve and Christmas all in one go. And so far you're holding the fort up. Val, if you had to have something in your Christmas stocking this year, what would you have? If you could have anything in your Christmas stocking, what would you have?
I think it would have to be a voucher for a week's vacation somewhere. Just to chill out and just not worry about anything. Maybe throw in a couple massages, or
I could do with a really good holiday as well. I have 2 gorgeous men waiting in the wings to come for, because we like to provide the eye candy as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As well as us being eye candy, we have 2 gentlemen at the moment, and to come on and join us. So without further ado, I must bring on the first one, who looks incredibly festive tonight, Mr. Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing good, ladies. I changed my name, since the other day when we was talking, you said you are Mr. W. You are Mr. Wicked. And
look at my name.
and I'm like, yep.
I started to change mine, and I didn't.
But
I can change yours for you. Don't worry. I can change yours for you. And I'm going to bring in the other young. Well, I say he's a young gentleman. He absolutely is. Let's bring him on. The lovely, the handsome Mr. JP. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I am not more festively attired. I had to run out to base every every year around the holidays, I try to, if I can, get out to the base on Christmas Eve with something
Yeah.
for the gate guards because they're
Yeah.
stuck guarding a shack for 12-hour
Yeah.
shifts and things like that. So I
Oh, that's a nice
had to
thing.
roll out there for them with a dozen chocolate chip cookies from Crumble, or excuse me, a half dozen, because they're
Oh,
gargantuan.
the other half didn't
cookies.
make it.
No. They everything I purchased made it. It's just
Okay.
it was 6 cookies. There's 2 people in the guard shack. So and the cookies literally are like this big. It's
We saw them the other day. You enjoying them?
Yeah.
And share.
yes. Yes. Those
So
are the
you
ones I got for
didn't
myself.
dress up like Santa to do that or anything.
No. But I went in the best World War II GI garb I could throw on real quick from the waist up. So GI cap and a tanker jacket.
There you
Because,
go.
this time of year, obviously, we do think about, everyone that's not at home, that is out in the forces and that are out serving and protecting us all, whether that be the Royal Air Force, the Army, the Navy, Marines, etc., like no matter where they're from, and also those that are in hospitals and doctors, nurses that are all working over Christmas. And without of all of them, we would be so lost. Hi, Sandra. How you doing? Hi, Elvis. Hi, Steph. We would be completely lost because you guys do a fabulous job. Can you? I'm going to ask
that's like
Michael, can you remember? Can you remind me of a Christmas that you spent away from home when you were in the Army?
there was several of them. Even when you're garrison, you might have staff duty. You might have some kind of additional duty that you can't be home. So just not only the ones who are deployed, like JP was saying. If you got an installation, you got to have guards. You got to keep infrastructure in case somebody is on leave that has an issue. We prided ourselves every time the phone rang, there would be a living, breathing soul to answer it and send it up. And it could be from the loneliest private to your officers, because you have to have a staff duty officer to go with the NCO that goes there. So everybody don't get to take their leave. The one thing I really prided myself about in the Army was how many days of leave I got. But there's no guarantee, and I like to tell them, they guarantee you 30 days a year. They don't guarantee you what time of the year you can take them. They're like, oh, we will guarantee you, we'll give you 3 hot meals. JP gets it, and you might get them all 3 at the same time. But no, I remember deployed, but you know what? And the way I got myself through it was, I knew what I was doing was giving my kids and family and my loved ones the best gift of all. That was freedom.
Yeah.
And we had the little trees, and I remember Santa Claus come, dressed with a plate carrier and they call them bump helmets now or something. That's something a little new for me. Me and JP was talking about that the other day. You could tell you've been in the Army way too long when the iteration of helmet. It's like, oh, that's a parachutist helmet. Oh no, that's a Mitch helmet. No, that's a bump helmet. And and it's iteration. And it's kind of like with Christmas, you can see how people evolve from being their first deployment being gone at Christmas, their second deployment being, and it makes you a little more salty. It does, but but you don't want to have that fall over to the guys that serve under you or with you. And it's very solemn. But one thing I can say about the Army, they always make sure you have a good hot meal that's Christmas theme or things. It's there's actually a story. Talking about World War II, and the guy said, and they pushed it really hard. They said, everybody will have turkey on Thanksgiving. He said, piss on your turkey. We don't need turkey. We need more rounds put on range. And there's like 2 guys that got killed trying to get turkey up to the front lines when they want what they wanted was more artillery. And I'm thinking, but that's one thing I can say about my time in the Army. Is it perfect? No. But do they try to make the best of a bad situation for the guys and girls that are there? Yes, they do. And I figure it's probably the same for the UK, the Royal Marines, or what is it, RAF? I can't keep up. But but it's that one time a year when everything should be peaceful. But but the only way you keep peace is having people willing to put themselves in harm's way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Jason, like for you, can you remember a Christmas when you were away and you were serving in the army? What was it like?
Well, I mean, I can remember 3 specifically. 2 in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq. And that's the thing is, aside from the festive holiday, meal and decor and things like that in the dining facilities, it was just another day. And you still had ops that were going. You still had things that you had to do. You still had things you had to worry about. So things didn't change. I will say though, this last trip I did to Afghanistan back 18 into 19, as a civilian working for the Air Force, doing what I'm doing now, they just tasked me out to a Air Expeditionary Wing that was downrange. That was the first time I was actually able to catch a USO show, and that was cool. It had brought a bunch of comedians out and celebrities. What's his name? On that 70s show, the one who had to like very much like this, the Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
God, I can't think of his name right now.
Fez.
But Fez, yeah, he was there. And so I got autographs from all of them and the comedians that were there. The Christmas prior to that I did in Afghanistan, 2010, 2011, it was around Christmas time. It wasn't quite Christmas yet. I was in Kunduz. I had gone up to Kunduz to do some SERP pay agent stuff for some projects that we had local nationals doing. And of all people that I run to while I'm up there, who's around doing, out there doing a USO show with some other comedians and stuff. And the guy literally walked out of the GP Large that was a tent, the GP Large tent that was across from my GP Large tent. Peter Billings, Billingsley, Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So he was in Afghanistan doing USO tours, and the guy literally, I walked out of my tent. I kind of walked around looking where the specialist that was traveling with me as my armed security. If he was on his way back from the latrine, and bigger than anything, out from the GP Large steps Ralphie, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Ralphie, and he's like, hey, I will do all the photos you want. We can have as long of a conversation as you want, but I gotta use the latrine, man. So if you want to wait, I'll be right back. I'm like, cool.
Good memory.
He came right back. He came right back, and we sat there, we talked, and I was like, dude, you have no idea how much of a part of my childhood you were. Every Christmas, my mom would turn on TBS or TNT because it kind of bounced back and forth between the two channels, but they did 24 hours of A Christmas Story. And, she would leave it on all day. And so I got a picture with him, sent that to mom. So it's like you get these weird kind of surreal things that sometimes happen downrange around the holidays, but yeah, other than those instances, it was another day and you had a job to do. And so, getting to the chow hall in the evening and seeing the place absolutely done up. Cakes and pies as far as you could see. They'd have steak and lobster and stuff.
Steak and
I was going to ask you, did you?
No, it sounds pretty good.
Who knows where it's coming from? But
hey, JP, I was going to ask you, did you ever see any of the?
Did I ever what?
Did you ever see any of the WWE guys? Did you ever see any of the WWE guys? I
No,
said, did you ever see any
No.
of the WWE guys? I remember we
no,
saw
I
the
didn't see any of those.
tribute
They
tapes,
weren't
and
around.
and that really, which I
Are
don't
you
think they do
Val?
anymore.
Val, have you ever been like? I mean, like have you had a
But I
Christmas
thought, you know,
that? Sorry, Michael, our mics are cutting over because they're cutting in and out. Val, did you ever find that? Have you been away from home for
I gotta
Christmas
go.
and
I gotta get a dog.
there?
Oh, sorry, just pulled up.
Only in the case where my girls would always go to their daddies on Christmas Eve,
Yeah,
and then they would stay with me Christmas Day. But really, until this year, we've
Yeah.
always done something,
yeah.
but
I was just thinking that. I was just
not this
thinking that
year.
because literally, I not everyone being sick, and this is something that happened a lot in the last couple of years. Like people
Yeah.
have had COVID, or they've not been together, and it's been like we've been separated from each other for so long now, so many years. It's just starting to get back with one another, and
Yeah.
then you find that COVID is still out there, and then for you it's going to be a very tough Christmas because you're on your own. How are you feeling with that, especially after the week that you've had?
I'm just doing my own thing and treating it like the week before Christmas.
I remember the Christmas that I wasn't here. It was my first Christmas in Calgary, and being a different time zone and being behind the UK, so that I remember ringing up and everybody was together, and they were all celebrating Christmas, and they
Yeah.
were like, we miss you, we really miss you. But I was actually kind of happy that I was actually in Calgary and I was miles away from home, because it was something new, something different. And there was no snow that year either, which was very depressing for me. But I think that, for me, if I had the chance to spend Christmas somewhere, it would be on a snowy mountain or snowy village somewhere, and a log cabin, fire going, twinkle lights up. I would, it's weird because when I was in Canada, everyone says happy holidays. And obviously over here, we tend to say Merry Christmas, happy
Yeah.
Christmas. Do you guys still do happy holidays, or are you saying Merry Christmas and stuff as well?
So it depends on who you talk to.
We're still
A lot
we're
of
still very stubborn.
people say Merry Christmas. That's what I say. But every
Yeah.
now and again, you'll get a happy holidays, but that's usually, I think, in the store where they try to make them say happy holidays because they don't want to offend anybody.
Oh.
So.
And it's a shame that comes along because, for me, I've always grown up with Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
And, now you hear people say Happy Yule, because obviously, yes, we know Christmas came from Yule. And, Yule was first pagan holiday until the Catholic Church come in and obviously incorporated Christmas into our traditions. So, Michael, is it something that you still say? Are you quite proactive to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays?
I'm more Merry Christmas. Even with my pagan beliefs, that's what I grew up with, and I refuse to let anybody take another tradition from me. I got my Yule tree back here. I've got my Christmas lights up here. Had to turn these off because I can't get them from flashing. But it's like Jason, it's me and JP has a very unique look on people's right to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or celebrate whatever they want.
Right.
And that's what I tell them, you should not be offended by somebody, I tell them, or just be happy that somebody wants you to have a great day, because there are so many people out there right now that's not having a happy holiday or a Merry Christmas.
Right.
But these people have got so easily offended by just little words. And And
But
that's like I was
but
telling you the
a
other
lot
day
of them bring it on themselves.
that they do, and that's like I talked to Wendy the other day, and there was an incident, and I told her, I said, I want to start telling these people, have the day you deserve. If you deserve a happy
Oh yeah.
holidays or a Merry Christmas, wear it out. If you don't deserve one, I hope somebody shits in your stocking. Because I've I
Well, I
don't know,
mean,
it's
I
just
don't get
crazy.
offended if somebody says happy holidays to me. I just turn
Yeah.
around and say Merry Christmas to them.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
And
it's not. I don't think you can get offended unless you allow yourself to be offended.
that's it. And
And there's too many out there with such brittle feelings that they allow
and
themselves to be offended by everything.
yeah,
And
but
they're never going to make it if they get
no,
offended by everything.
no, that's it.
Jason, are you a happy holidays or a Merry Christmas?
Say that again.
Are you a happy holidays or are you a Merry Christmas?
I'm a hey, what's up?
Hey,
Doing good. I don't care if someone says Merry Christmas to me or Happy Holidays. The fact that somebody is expressing goodwill is all that matters to me. And
Amen.
if I don't have a ADHD moment where I'm just like, oh yeah, cool. No, hey, hope everything's going great, and have fun. Like, yeah, I'll say Merry Christmas back or Happy Holidays back. I don't know. I don't know when people get so current people. I don't know when that is. That's
Well, we're living in the age of the offended, and it's everybody has something that they pick out that to get offended by, and then they have to spread it everywhere that they got offended. Nobody cares if you got offended. That's a you problem.
That's what I think. But we're talking about Christmas is away from our loved ones. I've made it no secret that I've had some bumps since I've come home, and I figure I had bumps for the right reasons. But I remember I was away from my family, and Wendy does, and Bradley probably does too. But I tell everybody, I had a little trouble, so I ended up where they put trouble with people that don't know how to express their things without going hands on. And I remember the pastor came around and he gave us socks and a candy bar. And I thought, well, hell, Jill ain't sucking too bad today. I got Fruit Loops this morning and I got a Three Musketeer bar. Best damn Three Musketeer bar I'd ever got. That was the best Christmas present ever, And, but now as time has gone by, like Steph just said, get a helmet if you're hurt. You know what I'm saying? Life is tough. My fucking helmet, get a helmet. I'm surprised.
Well, I
to
mean,
see,
and I'm one that I rarely get offended by anybody at any time because I just don't. I don't worry about what other people think, so I don't get offended.
I think that, especially when your Christian countries. I mean, obviously, whatever country you go to, you respect their. You're supposed to respect their laws and the beliefs and everything. And like the UK, America is very much a Christian country, and Christmas and Easter is part of the calendar and the holidays. And I think we've got to a point that where do we stop offending people? Because it's like, if I went to their country, whatever country it may be, I would abide by their rules, as in Rome, you do as in Rome. And so if they come to this country, so I think it's got to a point now, I remember like a couple of years ago, people weren't putting up Christmas trees because they didn't want to offend people, or they didn't, actually, so I was actually in a card shop a couple of days ago, and there was a Muslim family in there, and they were buying Christmas cards, and they were saying, "Oh, don't forget to get one for Dad, and then don't forget to get one for this." And they were buying Christmas, and they were celebrating Christmas too, which is wonderful because it's not just for those that believe or come from that sort of background. It's for everyone to enjoy.
Sure.
I tell them, the one thing that has hurt Christmas more than anything is being commercialized.
Oh,
Here's my list. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And I had a thought, and
And if they don't get that very thing,
on Scotty's show,
you know, they go all to pieces.
The thing is,
That's
Val,
it.
like it's true, like commercialized, as I was saying on Scotty's show, it's like, what is the meaning of, I mean, if I come to each of you, right, for you, Val, what is the meaning of Christmas for you?
Well, for me, it's the birth of my Christ. It's that's why I celebrate, to celebrate him. You know, the rest of it goes along with it, but that's my reason. You know,
Which is interesting because obviously he was born in
and
the
he was
early,
born like in the spring, I think.
and they
But-
obviously they moved to do
But
with you.
they picked a day that was 9 months after his birth and his crucifixion. So 9 months later, they picked December the 25th to celebrate his birth. So,
And do you go to church, Val? Do you go like to midnight mass or anything like that? Is that important to you?
I used to go to church a lot. I think, and I stopped going because I let people, I let people run me out. I think there was too many hypocrites where I was going, and I just,
That'll do it.
I still go on occasion, but I feel right now I pray at home. I do things, at home that I can, that I could do in church, but
because it was an important part of at Christmas when I was growing up, was to go to on Christmas morning, Christmas morning, go to church. Christmas Eve we do midnight mass, and I absolutely I was thinking about it very much. So should I go tonight or not? I know my sister's going. I may not make it, but it's like there's a very special feeling, I think, for me. Christmas Eve was always my special day. There's a great feeling about Christmas Eve. You go out and look at the sky, and it just has that sparkle. For me, when I was young, I was a great believer.
Right.
In all things magical, especially at Christmas time. Father Christmas is
me too.
And I think if you believe in Father Christmas, without me breaking anyone's bubble, if you believe in him, he's real for you. And to me, it was just a very, very special night. And we each had our own tree in our room. I think mine was white. I think my sister's was kind of, I think she had a pinky color, and my brother's was green. And I remember saying, like, my brother stayed up one night, and my mum was like, if you stay up, you're going to get a sack of coal. And yes, he did stay up, and he did get a sack of coal. And so, I when I used to open the sack, and you got the orange and the apple and the nuts and everything, and you'd be like, oh God, really? Why did Father Christmas, sorry for us, why did Father Christmas bring us that? Because we don't even like them. And you got your Look-In, if you guys got these, probably didn't, the Look-In annual and all the other kind of annuals, and the Girls' World, where you used to pull the hair out and decorate it and all that lot. I have some wonderful memories of my uncle and decorating the tree, and he had the best presents. And when he died very, very suddenly in 2017, it was like Christmas just became something was missing from it, because he was like Father Christmas. And for me, it's so sad that as Christmas gets shorter, we are not round the table with those that we love. We lose more and more, and we become, and yes, just someone once said to me, yes, but when you lose someone, you can bring someone else in. That's very true. But I know of people not celebrating Christmas right now. They've lost people they love. They don't want to celebrate it. They can't. For me, it's a really difficult Christmas. My little boy isn't here. I haven't got my boy. He loved Christmas. He would go through the tree. He would attack all the balls. He would rip all the presents open. And this year, the tree is intact. the presents are under the tree, and it's like I miss him terribly. So I think Christmas is what you make it. It's also about those that you're around and who you celebrate with. Some of the people I'd love to celebrate with are thousands of miles away from me. My best friend is in Canada. We have never spent a Christmas together. I should say, I have lots of people that bless my life, but she's very far away from me. And we have always wanted to do a Christmas together, and we haven't. And you think to yourself, well, there's next year and there's next year, but sometimes next year doesn't happen. Sometimes they're not there. For you, Michael, like for you this Christmas, and for you looking back when you were young, before I come to Jason, what do you feel about this year, and also like memory from your childhood with Christmas?
This year I'm a recent orphan. That's bad, but I was thinking about that, and like I said, well, y'all seen it. Yeah, that was kind of hard to deal with, and now when I get done with this, I'll go next door to my aunt's house, and I always try to make it as pleasant as I can for the kids, my nieces and nephews, and I always try to teach them the meaning. Hey, we're here, we love you. You know what I'm saying? We're all together. We're all kind of congealed together, and that's like I was saying before we went live. My grandmother, and I'll tell you my funny Christmas story. We was talking about how warm it was today, but my grandmother, all her sons, she had 5 of her sons and 3 stepsons, so there's 8 altogether, and they always got her the same box of candy. It was like the peppermint candy and all this stuff. And I went into her back bedroom one time, and I asked her, I said, Granny, can I have a piece of candy? She said, you can eat all of it. I'm thinking, damn, that's odd for this old woman. And she had it just stacked on its dresser. And I asked her, I said, why haven't you eaten your candy? She said, I hate this shit. But every year, for some reason, somebody had got it into their mind and thought, Mom likes this candy. So she's getting 8 boxes of this shit a year to go in with it. And then finally, the only one that she would come clean to, that she didn't want her to hurt their feelings,
Right.
and I guess it slipped out, and she's in, but I remember I was not that old, but she's like, I hate this. And, but like I said, I grew up poor, and I remember the police department and the volunteer fire department adopted me and my 3 brothers for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Santa Claus came in a big ambulance. We got out and loaded me a 10-speed bicycle. But I remember it was 82 degrees that day, and we was outside playing on Christmas morning here in Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
In short sandals and T-shirts. And everybody told me Santa Claus ain't real. He was real that day. When he pulled up, and my Uncle Paul, which he's been long past, but he would always come. He lived in up next to Roanoke in Pulaski County, and his wife would always buy, and she'd, like I said, we grew up poor on a farm. We didn't know what like proper Christmas paper and all that was, but he'd get out of his truck, and they'd just be like boxes and boxes, properly wrapped with your name on a proper tag, and you'd be like, oh, this is how other people live. But so now, the only place that's decorated here in my whole house now is here behind me. I got my Yule tree, got my lights up, because this is part of my family, my Stanley family, and I know. Wicked Women has a theme. They have expectations. So, if you're going to come on, look your best. And damn it, you better be festive. And like I said, if I can fake
What do you think I changed?
like
I didn't want to get yelled at.
it's it. But, on the same time, you look back, and, I remember getting up, and when you go to bed, they not be nothing under the tree. And my poor little mom, I don't know how she did it. But when you got up, all your stockings had candy in it, like you said, the oranges or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, I don't know what it was, but she ended up putting grapefruit. And I'd never seen a grapefruit. I didn't know they tasted like shit. I didn't think, so, I'm thinking,
They
in the bottom of my stocking was this big round, man, I seen the elbows like, where's my baseball? I thought I had a baseball in the end of my stocking. And so I pulled that thing in. I thought, man, that's the biggest damn orange I've ever seen in my life. I popped that thing open, and you want to talk about running Christmas. I bit into that, and I was like, holy garbage, Jesus Christ. And Mom said, and it wasn't that I was trying to hurt her feelings or anything. She's like, "What's wrong with your orange?" I said, "This orange tastes like shit." Not like that, or she'd wash my mouth out with something worse than, grapefruit. She said, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with the orange. Let me let me see it." And she bit into it. She's like, "That's a grapefruit." I said, "I don't know what that is, but I don't want it." And I figured that was the day when I was about 10 years old. I figured out I didn't like grapefruit. But like you said, it was like little bitty knickknacks and, or what do you call it, bits and bobs that you might have plastic.
Orange, apple, nuts,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah.
I will tell you, it is not easy for a parent to wait till the kids go to sleep, put everything together, put it under the tree, keep that mystery going on. I mean, it's hard work. It really is.
Jason,
I saw a meme that would help with that, though.
She says hard luck.
I'm so sad that it came in well after my kids had already, caught on. But it said, Christmas hack. Stack up a bunch of wrapped empty boxes underneath the tree, like lots of them. And, every time your kid acts up, throw one in the fireplace.
Good.
Yeah.
Like,
what about you when you were young, Jason? Like, what is a childhood memory for you?
So, admittedly, at some point, I became a little shit and kind of put extra strain on Christmas, or really any holiday gathering, because I was just a young angry punk. But I think, for me, probably, Mom always decorated to the nines, always. And it almost even picked up even more after my brother had left, and then after I left for the Army and stuff like that, but really,
well, maybe it was because you all were gone and she didn't have to worry about shit getting broke.
That's probably exactly what it was, or she was bored.
Oh, well, that could be too.
I have no one to yell at.
Empty nest.
What do I do with my time?
Yeah, empty nest.
But nothing really particular sticks out in my head in terms of, Christmases. They were all kind of, in a way, the same. We always had a large tree. I always typically got either what I, was hoping for, or somewhere in the ballpark of, and so there wasn't a lot of want on that. But I think one of the things that does stick out for me is when we would do stuff and it would be our family and the extended family, was the food. You talking about it, the first thing that comes to mind is my great grandma Bonnie made what she called turkey noodles, and then Grandma Mary Ann would, carry on the tradition when Bonnie passed. And they're really simple, but it's like they were my favorite thing of like the whole holiday meal. It was always the turkey noodles, and it was more like it's more like a German style noodle. Thicker, heavier, not as evenly cut and precisely cut like, Italian based pastas and things like that. But the flavor of that and the wanting that and the being excited for that, like that always sticks out in my head. I don't know. It's not very Christmassy, but
it's memories though, because at Christmas time, I remember when my parents divorced, and suddenly life became very, very different because, let's be honest, we can all remember of Christmas, which was awful. I remember one Christmas being in a relationship which was so painful and so difficult, and it was awful. And you just think like everyone else is like getting together and having this great time. My life is absolutely hell. And sometimes it's really difficult to have a happy Christmas, and you're trying to be good for the, make the kids happy, or you're trying to give the atmosphere to be a good Christmas. And it's not always easy to do that when you're thinking, I just want to get in my car and just get the hell out of here. And I think I remember actually looking out the window one year and actually saying, please, if you can hear me, get me away from this. I can't seem to get away from this situation. Get me away from it. And I think if Christmas comes along with its own kind of magic, the power of belief. Anytime Christmas, at Christmas time, anything is possible. It's all possible at Christmas time. Why is it that Christmas still has that magic? And yet when Scotty and I were talking about it on Robertson on Tuesday, it was about how people had lost the magic of Christmas, how they become very jaded and then become very desensitized because Christmas starts in September, or if you're lucky, August, and you don't get a chance to do Halloween. Why is it that we still hold on? You'll look at the telly tonight, it'll all be Christmas movies. Just before I came on, there was Love Actually, there was Elf, there was, I think, the new one, Genie. Which one, Elf or Love Actually?
Elf is a horrible movie.
Why don't you like Elf?
There's funny stuff in it. There is funny stuff in it, but good God, it's just a bad movie.
I think Sandra's
Die Hard is. Yeah, I was going to say Die Hard is more of a Christmas movie.
See, I'm more of a Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yippee-ki-yay!
I can't handle that film at all. For me, it's
Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, it creeps me out. Totally creeps me out. I mean, I think for me,
I love it.
Yeah. Tim Burton is a special kind of twisted.
Tim Burton is amazing. I had to just look inside of his brain would be terrifying.
I think him and the lead singer from The Cure went to the same hairstylist.
I think so.
I mean,
you're right.
Beetlejuice too, haven't they? Which is looking forward. I think Sandra's got a point here when she says, I miss the excitement of being a kid and wondering what Santa got me. And I think that's true, because when you discover the truth about lots of things where Christmas is concerned, it does take away the magic. So Jason, for you, as I ask each of you, is there some magic about Christmas for you, or is there not at all?
It's not that there's not a magic. There is something there. I can't necessarily put my finger on it. Amidst all of the other feelings that are stacked up on everything, basically, except for like a 2-year stint here or there before COVID. I spent a lot of Christmases alone.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily something that I have deep magical whimsy about everything. But there's something special about it amidst all the feelings of staring at my tree by myself. With Die Hard on to,
Did you feel more of that magic when you had small kids?
Yeah. Well, okay. Full disclosure, yes and no. Yes, because the kids bring an element to it and it's great. No, because they typically woke me up entirely too early and I was not functioning. So I'm just like,
I totally understand.
Why are you in such a mood? I need my coffee. I don't.
But I think they add to that wonder and that magical, because you see it in their face.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You know.
absolutely.
Yeah, they light up.
Absolutely.
They have a glow. Yeah, yeah. Kids have a glow when it comes to Christmas. It's like,
Oh,
what?
absolutely.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
But I haven't
it's like a totally.
spent a Christmas with my kids since before the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, actually, we went in spring break. We celebrated Christmas and basically in their spring break because everything was shut down. So we just kind of shuffled things around. But
I think you bring up a good point about being alone at Christmas, because I too have spent quite a few Christmases on my own. It's like you even if I've gone up and had dinner with someone or I've met someone, I've spent a lot of Christmases on my own. And it's like in some ways it's lovely because you can watch what you want, eat what you want, do what you want, and chill out and everything. At the same time, it's also like I wish there was someone special or someone or people around me special that I could be with. And I remember thinking, with Henry and myself, it was just, it's me and you, kid, and that's the way it was. Michael, do you find that looking back as a dad, that you saw do you still see in your kids' eyes? Or I know they're sort of getting older, but it's like, what sort of memory comes back? And have you been on your own some Christmases?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, yeah, being on your own during Christmas, and like JP was saying earlier, sometimes it's just another day. If you got things that you got to do, you're in the middle of nowhere. You are on your own. And I've been on my own here a lot of times. When I first came back, I preferred to be by myself, and I drawed inward. And like I said, you watch Die Hard on TV. You have a bourbon and Coke or rum and Coke, And now, with Mila, what I'm saying, before Poseidon came along, a lot of times, it was me and Mila, what I'm saying? She don't care what I watch on TV. Like you, I spent my Christmas with my buddy, and now, like I said, there's a bunch of stockings behind me, Poseidon, Mila, the 3 kids, because I tell them, these are my fur babies. These are, these is what keeps me from laying in the road waiting for a truck to run me over, because they come a big part of your family, Am I going to dress her up and put antlers on her head? No. But like I said, I figure if everybody else can, can do the holidays,
maybe
there's no reason.
What's that?
And
so maybe just do that one time with the antlers and
I did that all the time with Henry. He had his own Christmas jumper. He had his antlers. He had the funny collar, and he was just kind of like, Mum, like seriously, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he jingled everywhere he went. Even the cat had the jingle collar and the flashy jumper. And the cat, why is it when you dress a cat up, unless you're particularly lucky, the cat just goes and won't move, and then just hands to crawl across the floor because they think they've got a weight on them? Why is that, Val?
Yeah,
because they don't like having anything on them. They
Yeah, my dogs, they had too much self-awareness and an understanding of dignity. They would, of course, they were shepherds, so incredibly expressive in the faith. And you're like, hey, let's
dress up, and they didn't like.
Yeah, don't wear that. No, you're good. Okay.
I tell people,
maybe cats are just smart enough to think to know how stupid they look, and they're like, Mom, really? No.
Oh Lord! I was going to tell you, if nobody,
I don't get it.
Go ahead,
I was going to tell people, I was going to say, if nobody had ever got the opportunity to watch her dress up Henry, this poor dog would stand there, and he was just so still. Oh, let's put your jumper on. Let's put this on. Let's put this on. He'd just be okay.
Here's Mom's ritual.
He probably knew he had no hope. He wasn't going to get away.
Put the sweater on.
She was going to do it anyway, so he might as well just.
He had. I'm going to try and find, while you're talking, the photograph of the antler pick. But he didn't really give a shit. I mean, he literally ruled. He was kind of like, who the man? Who the man? And he did dress up, and he had the antlers, the flashy Christmas jumper, the jingly collar, and Vamp had it too. And you know, I have to be honest, they were kind of like, you're having a laugh, are you here? But I think
I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I did dress up my cats and push them in a baby carriage.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I did.
No, but
I'm trying to find
We respect and
like I said,
salute
you know,
your
they
bravery
become
and
part of the
charity.
family. So
Of course, I was
Yeah.
4 years old when I got my first cat.
yeah,
And
all like,
and I was
But no,
actually
it's,
24 when she died.
You can imagine all the successes after that first cat going, well, you know what's going to happen when it's Christmas time, don't you? She's going to dress you up because she did it.
Oh, honey, it didn't have to be Christmas. I dressed her up all the time.
I'm trying to find this antler pic. I mean,
Or
for me,
cat.
it was fun. It was fun. And
She
I think
really,
Michael-
she would lay in the baby carriage. She didn't care.
You need to do Poseidon. He needs to be
You
dressed up.
oh, I've got socks here for him later for our annual Christmas pick.
You have socks for Poseidon?
Yes, I do, and it should be. I just had them here. What did I do with them? Because I figured this is going to be a dog fight to have two
Speaking
pit
of
bulls put on
cats, I
stock.
got a new one for Christmas. Somebody
Oh.
decided I needed a new one.
So what's this one
Oh.
called?
Speaking of,
Honey.
Somebody being you, or
No, somebody. Oh.
oh,
No,
like I said,
somebody being
that
whoever
dog
dropped
brought
her
so
off
much
at my
in.
house.
That's just one of them. I'm
I
actually
kept
trying to
hearing a cat, and I knew it wasn't any of mine. And she was and she was under my house.
Merry Christmas.
And
Dawn.
so I got her. I finally found her, took her to the vet. She had a huge abscess, so I got that treated. And she's mine now, I guess.
That's a point I wanted to bring up actually, because today is Christmas Eve, and there's a really sad thing happening in the UK right now. I think probably most people have been aware of the XL bully ban that the government is determined to bring into the United Kingdom. And it is beyond inhumane. They have there are a lot of XL bullies right now. In fact, they have 7 days left if they are in a rescue to find a home and to be exempted, because Battersea Dogs Home has told me that they are sending their ones to Scotland because Scotland is not following the rule for the XL bully ban. But some rescues don't have that option. They cannot send their dogs there, and so a lot of dogs are going to die on New Year's Eve, and they're going to be put to sleep because, unfortunately, of the breed they are, and it's got nothing to do with them at all. It's to do with the humane, and humans are just such scumbags. Sometimes they just throw their dogs out on the street, and the government has even offered. Yes, the UK government, so caring, has offered people £200 if they want to euthanize their dog, and the vet also gets paid extra for euthanizing that dog. What have we become to? In the time of Christmas is the season of giving. Why, if this UK government brought in to us a law which is inhumane and cruel, and they've not even properly fought it out. There is no, what is an XL bully? There is no XL bully breed. There has never been a registered breed. It's a mixture of many different breeds. And it's like a lot of people, if your dog is over 22.5, I think it's inches or whatever, your dog could be classed as an XL bully, even if it isn't. And I think that, I also think that, at the Christmas at this time of year, Val and I are both big animal advocates, and we think of all the animals that don't have a home, that are out in the cold, that are starving, that are freezing cold, that are in the rain and the cold, and they would do anything to have a home. All the animals that are in shelters and rescues that are going to spend it in a cage, you know, and in Spain and Cyprus and Italy and countries like that, where there is a brick floor and a brick wall, there is no heating, there is no blanket for them, and you see these poor dogs shivering in the snow, especially in Romania and countries like Bulgaria as well on top. They were animals, and you know, and even in Iraq and Iran and countries like that, they're not seen as they are. Christmas is supposed to be the time of goodwill, but Val, you and I both know with the bully ban that's coming up here in the United Kingdom of all countries, it's not going to be a very Merry Christmas when these poor animals have got 7 days left to find a home, or they're going to die.
No, and recently going through that, I can't imagine why anyone would voluntarily just give up their pet. I mean, I know, you know, we may think of our pets as something different than most people do, but you know, the people that had them before this, I mean, because you know that there's going to be, I'm guessing, a lot of people that are going to take that 200.
Yeah.
And I don't know how anybody could do that. It tore my heart in half.
Yeah.
But it was a necessity.
Yes, I know the feeling.
You know,
well.
if there had been another way, you know, if there had been help for her, I wouldn't have done that.
But I think, you know, I think it's also like we've lost a lot of our kindness and empathy, and it's like they, you know, the UK government, and you know, obviously I'm talking about this because this is happening in my own country right now. I am ashamed of my country. I'm ashamed of my government, of what they are doing. I'm ashamed of my Lord Mayor, you know, of London, who's allowing, as I said, 2 17-year-old boys were stabbed today and they died in my hometown. And another gentleman was stabbed in a town not far from me. What is happening to our world? We are living in a really cruel, uncaring, unfeeling world. And yes, there are some people out there still trying to bring the Christmas spirit, but when you're looking at Christmas in general being the season of goodwill, and yet those poor people that work in animal shelters right now that are looking at those dogs going, in 7 days' time, I'm going to have to take a healthy dog, or a dog that needs more time and care and attention. The puppies, I believe, hopefully they will survive because they're under a certain age. But if it's over a certain age, and I think it's disgusting that people we've had marches about it. It's there's been a legal challenge into the UK government, and they tried to get an injunction to say, look, we haven't had time to see this through. Can we stop this? The judge threw out the injunction, but he actually said, no, we're going to have to do a review again. So, but the law is going to go through on the 31st of December, and there is nothing that is going to stop it.
I mean, to me, it sounds like someone who disregards animals.
Yes.
Made this law.
Yeah.
And
it's very sad.
You know, and it, you know, it, they trump everybody else. You know, their thoughts, their beliefs trumps everybody else.
And the world's become so unfeeling. I mean, the government that's in right now, I don't think they're the caring, sharing government at all. And it's not, I mean, Boris Johnson is gone. Rishi Sunak is now Prime Minister. And quite frankly, he's probably going to lose the general election anyway that's coming up in 2024. But it's like, my country is a mess. You know, the United Kingdom at Christmas and this year is a mess financially, certainly there are so many stabbings now over in the UK. And, you know, it just in my hometown in the last month, you know, a 17-year-old killed coming out of a train station, 2 17-year-olds killed today on Christmas Eve. They're not coming home. As I said, the world is very different to when I was growing up and to the place it is. And it's like, is this the kind of world that you have great, you know, those that have children want to bring grandchildren and stuff into it. And the reason I bring this up is because, you know, Christmas is a time where we all think, oh, we sit and watch movies, we eat good food, we be with the people we love. But it's also one of the hardest. There are people on the street with no home, Val. I mean, I don't know what the homeless is like in Virginia. Is there a lot of homeless in Virginia?
I'm sure there is. They're not necessarily, you know, out on the street the way they are in some places. But
Northern Virginia was probably worse.
yes, yeah. But you know, I think there are everywhere.
It's probably closer to the area where in downtown Bristol's probably got more homeless than where she is.
Yeah. Here where I live, Lebanon, there's a lot of very low income houses, but as far as there's a lot of houses homeless like out on the street and things, there's not. Like Michael said, it's more Bristol, Kingsport over that way, the bigger cities.
Yeah, I mean, I saw today a homeless guy in my hometown, and he was sitting against some sort of billboard on the floor, and there were a couple of people, and they bought him a bag of food and stuff, and they were you know, helping him, you know, giving him sandwiches, giving him food, and he was just looking through the bags, and you could see he was so shocked that someone had actually come up to him and was giving him a present, you know, something for Christmas. And you know that he's going to be out in the cold, and you know, I mean, the temperature at the moment here, if I bring it up, let's just bring it up what it is in my hometown tonight. It is at the moment.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, Carly.
Hi, Carly. Scotty. It's 13 degrees, and you think, well, that sounds quite nice. Actually, it's not. It's cold. So, Carleen, welcome, and Scotty.
Oh, am I actually in? I thought I was waiting to be brought in. So.
Oh no, you're in, sir.
Hello,
I don't
darling.
just enter a room; I wait to be brought in.
I brought you in.
You wait to be announced.
Did you like the Red Riding Hood and Mrs. Christmas? You know, did you like
absolutely, without question.
And Colleen, it's lovely to see you. We need to bring you closer to the screen so that we can see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. We just got home from church service, and I wanted to pop in and tell everybody, you know, wish them a Merry Christmas. And
thank you. We were just talking about, you know, some of the really difficult things about Christmas, and Scotty knows about it because I chatted the other day about the XL bully ban. And as I said, there are 7 days before a lot of innocent dogs are going to be killed. And the UK
it did go through.
I'm afraid that they lost the legal battle to get an injunction against it, but they did win the review. So there is going to be a review in January. But I think that my country, I'm almost ashamed of my country. I mean, I never thought I'd ever say this, but I'm ashamed of my country. I'm ashamed of the government. And I just think that kindness, empathy, you know, Christmas, being there for your fellow man. And, you know, what a terrible time to even bring a ban through something like this. Christmas time, New Year's Eve, you know, who actually thought about that in the UK government and went, do you know what, let's do it at Christmas time, because there's nothing more we like to do than murder innocent animals. What is the government thinking about? Scotty, what do you think about all this?
I don't know enough about it to dispense any wisdom on it, that's for certain. But I don't know the context of the law or what exactly it's going to cover, but from what I've heard you say, what is it? The killing of what excess animals in shelters or something? Is that what it is?
It's XL bully dogs. So like you got a mixture of maybe an American bulldog, a pit bull, and maybe with another breed. So they're very, very big. There's been a few. Well, I would say few. There's been quite a few. There's been people killed and also attacks, like dog attacks by some of these breeds. And it's not the dog, it's the people that own them. You know, they're not on the lead. They're not. And some of these dogs have got out of the house. But at the same time, the government seems to be, it doesn't, I remember you saying on one of your shows, Scotty, the government works for us, right?
Yes.
They work for the people. They don't work for us. They really, really don't.
Well,
No.
that's also a question of forms of government as well. Over there in Great Britain,
These go into harbors really nicely. I'm just saying.
What do you got
Just
there?
saying.
Oh, yes.
It's a wonderful tin of tea.
Yes.
Get your 18, 20 of your best friends.
Yes.
Go get
Dress
a bunch
up
of it
as Indians.
as natives, right? And Mohawk, I believe it was, and just
dump all the tea in
send
the
a message.
harbor.
Send a
Yes,
message.
that's
I'm
the difference.
not encouraging violence. I'm just saying.
No. Dumping tea in the harbor is not violent, but I see the point he's making is the same I was making, is that our forms of government are different. Over there, you don't have a government of the people, by the people, for the people. You've got a government that is, well, it's a monarchy, but it's also a parliamentarian form of government.
Yeah.
Over
House
here,
of
you have
Lords and the House of Commons.
yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And over here,
Yeah.
it's they are elected by us, and we can fire them, and we can take them out. We could even, oh my God, we could storm the Capitol and protest if we want.
Whoa, hold on, wait,
Oh, yeah.
wait, don't. Our NSA agents might be listening today.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than saying to don't
Nobody's
say
saying
it.
that. Nobody's saying
So-
that, for goodness sake, because you know what happens. Like, we'll all get kicked out.
Getting that out of the way, might we say, what big eyes you have? No, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was lapsing.
No, Scotty, you're the one with the big eyes.
Yes, I am.
There.
With big eyes, all the better to. Well,
See you.
They're finely calibrated and
eat you
attuned
comes
to
in
pick up
there,
within
but, I gotta be
special,
careful with my words.
specific visual frequencies.
Yes,
It's like a radar.
Back to this crazy tablet.
I would be my opinion on it is that I think there are easier and better things to do. You can probably find homes that would take those dogs. What would you do if you have an overabundance of them and nobody to support a facility? What do you do? What happens? You can't just turn them out into the wild. Or could
That's
you?
what's happening right now. That people are just letting them out, and they're tying them up,
turning them out.
and leaving them, and these poor animals are in
Well,
the cold.
then-
Scotland's taking as many as they can because Scotland told the United Kingdom to basically go stuff themselves because we're not following
Pound
the law.
sand. Yeah.
And
Why
Pound
am I
sand,
not
yeah.
surprised that Scotland
understand.
told them to do that?
of course, John, he actually said Scotland told them to
I know
go.
who he's
dump
talking
bags.
like.
You'll
I
have
couldn't
to
hear
go
him, but
over
he's
there and
not
rescue
doing the.
them all.
Hey, JP, you got your plate carrier and your bump helmet ready?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I will say,
So
go borrow a C5A and just kind of fly over there and grab all the dogs and run back.
I wish you
Oh,
could,
no.
Carly.
Oh, Rudy, I think you're right. Rudy just said that doesn't work either. Our government isn't for the people too much anymore. We're more interested in their pocketbooks. I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think
It's
you have
government for profit.
your few individuals who are probably out there for something idealistic that can get well. I will go ahead and say this. You look at Donald Trump, whether you like him or not. Donald Trump was somebody that I believe went in there, and you're seeing right now what happens to somebody who doesn't follow the system, who doesn't abide by everybody telling them what to do. And we've got your pocketbook, and we're going to line it, and we're going to. And Trump was like, he didn't need any of that. Now you're seeing what they're trying to do to him as a result of that. If they can't take him down, if they can't assassinate him, they'll try to bankrupt him, which is what they're trying to do right now. And so
They got him off the Colorado ballot.
I know, I saw
They're
that. And
trying
that's
for
going to be
Virginia.
challenged. That's going to be challenged
yeah.
by the Supreme Court.
Mm.
But I also think as well, like,
Well, if it's off the primary ballot, it's not off the general election ballot.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And they're saying it's going to be illegal for anybody to write him in the primary ballot. You can't just have him in the ballot. They also passed that you can't write his name in as a write-in vote.
Really?
And
how are they going to know?
So
I heard somebody say, there are desperate measures being taken by the opposition when you are so afraid of that candidate running that you can't let the people decide if they want him or not.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have to try to take him out. in
like
any way
JP
you
said,
can.
first of all, how are they going to know who wrote it?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be anonymous.
Yeah, that's it,
I would,
isn't it?
I would probably look a little deeper into that part because that could just be something
That was stated
some
outright
pundit
as
And
that's
how
in. I
how
saw
is
the
that
law.
not illegal
That is
against
actually
our rights?
in the law or in the decision they
Amendment.
passed. It actually states that
I
the
was gonna say, so if-
Colorado Supreme Court decision.
if
and
you
so-
go to
God, I would just write
Colorado,
in
you
Donald
don't-
Trump just
you
because
don't
they told me
have
I
the
wasn't
right to
allowed to
vote
write
in
in Donald Trump.
Colorado.
That's right.
would
It's like,
too.
fuck off.
Yeah.
That's my
I think
fuck off. vote.
it's quite emotive, isn't it? That I have a prime minister that nobody voted for. Nobody voted for him. He was the third prime minister that came in after. Boris Johnson won a landslide. He was, and
Mhm.
he came in, he brought Brexit in, and people voted for Boris Johnson. He's always, no matter what, that man comes bouncing back, no matter what. Not
You
so
go
much.
to one party during COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
not so much this time because obviously there's, and as they say, and there's a very true saying, who really does run the country? Who really does run the world? Because we all know it's not the people in power that we actually see. It's not the Boris Johnsons or the Rishi Sunaks or the Joe Bidens. It's the other people that run it. And where is this kindness? And where
That's
is
a
the
yes and
empathy?
no kind of thing, though, with that, Wendy. It's
Oh,
and here's why I say it's a yes and no kind of thing, right? Yes, well, the people aren't running the country, but the people collectively, in their infinite stupidity or laziness or can't be bothered with itness, again, we're talking collective, not individual, allowed things to get to this point. They made the decision. We as a society drove it in the directions that it have gone.
mm,
That's one of those things is we have lost a sense of culpability in the political state of affairs of our nations. And nobody wants to look at the mirror and say, nobody has the intestinal fortitude, again, broad general terms, not specifics, but to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you were an idiot because you decided to go to Taco Bell and nurse that hangover rather than go to the ballot box. Or I couldn't be bothered to whatever, and so I didn't go to the ballot box. Or I voted for this guy because I listened to entirely too many commercials rather than actually doing my own independent research from an objective standpoint. And so it's like we've made this bed as a society. That's the sad thing. Now is it how do we we've been sleeping in it. How do we wake up and remake the bed?
Yeah, they just kick the can down the road. That's all they're doing is kicking the can down the road, and it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about this. I'll get mine and get out. And I've always said America was not set up to have politicians that stayed in office for 50 years.
I think they should make it like jury duty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give it to the person who don't want it.
Here's your summons. You're going to be in the Senate. I'm what? Oh no, I've got Senate duty for the next 4 years. Boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Everybody will think a lot different.
on Christmas Eve, Scotty, and I'm going to ask you a memory like I asked Scotty, asked JP, sorry, and Michael and Val. What is one of your memories as a child, and I'll come to Carleen as well, of when you were a kid? What was a good Christmas memory for you?
A good one. They were pretty much all. I got to tell you, there was a certain point where that cut off and flipped over. But
Yeah.
as a kid, if you're asking, it was magical. It was always magical. We didn't always get what we wanted. The way our family did things was Christmas Eve. There were presents Christmas Eve from the family, and then Santa brought presents in the morning. And so we had 2 days of presents. You didn't get Aunt Gloria's present on Sunday morning. You got it. Or, I'm sorry, on Christmas morning. You got it on Christmas Eve. And the family all got together for Christmas Eve. And then we all got together again for Christmas Day.
Mhm.
And we were all local, so we could do that. And so the memories were always pretty magical of kids.
Have a good one, Barbara.
Happy Christmas, Barbara.
See, Barb.
Oh, I missed that. I wasn't looking. And so a specific memory doesn't come up specifically, but I do remember a bad memory. You want to hear a bad memory of
Yeah,
Christmas
go
Eve?
for it.
Memory's memory.
I had a stepfather who was very strict. And you can say, let me put this one disclaimer in. You can give a story about anyone that might make them sound like a hideous person, but they aren't. They may have done some bad things, made some bad choices or judgments, but that doesn't make them a bad person. I will say this about this was my stepfather when I was 5 years old, I think is when this happened. And I never held any animosity toward him. I loved him up until the day he died 10 years ago. Although he was out of our lives when I was 6. My mom divorced him, probably in part for some of these types of things. But now this might sound really heinous for some people, but you've got to keep in mind he was old world Ukrainian, old world European, come out of Stalin's concentration camps.
Yeah.
They escaped and made it to America. He married my mom a couple of years after that. He met her here. And so all of that to say, there was, and I'm building this up for something really hideous, but I remember sitting at the dinner table. It was just our little family. And I did not like peas. And I was told I needed to finish my peas, and I just wouldn't do it. I don't remember saying no. I don't think we openly told him no, the way my kids do to me. I just didn't do it. I can't eat them. Now, he was old world enough that he used old world discipline. Now, keep in mind, this is 1965, too, when this is happening, and he's older world than that. So we're talking 60 years ago. But he would blindfold us at the table if we took our eyes off our plate. And we weren't supposed to talk. We weren't supposed to look around the room. We had to eat our dinner. And I didn't eat my peas. And so this was Christmas Eve, I do believe. And he walked over by the Christmas tree, and he had a piece of paper and a pencil, and he had it up against the wall, and he's writing. He said, I'm going to write Santa Claus, and I'm going to tell him not to leave you any presents because you wouldn't eat your peas. And I'm bawling. I'm just crying and crying, and my mom's trying to stop the whole thing. And I don't remember the outcome of the incident, but I did get presents the next day, and I did not eat my peas. So it's interesting that we also carry those bad memories with us. Now,
Yeah, we do.
was he a hideous, heinous man? No, he was a wonderful, loving person. He was not my real flesh and blood, and he treated us like his own kids. But he and my mom obviously didn't get along, and she divorced him. And I knew him all throughout the years, and he was a sweet man. And
But those memories stay with us, as you say,
Yeah.
whether they're good or bad. Carlene, can you remember a Christmas which was very good or one that perhaps wasn't?
I have vague memories of bits and pieces of Christmas that were good, but along Scotty's thing, but a different take. Our stepmother, our first stepmother, was a hideous woman. I mean, she was.
Come a bit nearer the mic.
We won't even go there, and we were not even allowed to have a tree at Christmas. We did not have presents. We did not celebrate Christmas. We go to her parents. We'd have dinner. That would be that. So I never really got into the Christmas, and I'm starting to more now and make memories and you know, like I remember a couple of times I was living with my grandparents, and it was great. We go get their tree, and my grandfather had it set just so, and we decorate it, and we'd laugh and giggle and throw tinsel all over the place.
But with that being said, I seen something the other day. It said, "Don't let yourself become a prisoner to your past.
Yeah.
Your future is wide open." So you can make them memories now,
Yep.
and then mean more. They have a deeper meaning now
Yep.
than struggling.
Yep.
And she asked me about being a dad a while ago, and now I'm a pet parent. And I had to go in there and tell him, "Look, be still, or you're gonna be in trouble." Because he hears the kids out being jolly playing next door, and he's like, "Oh, I want to go play."
Yep.
And a lot of times, with the memories I have, is I got to make sure not only is all the bills paid, but I got to put back enough money so they can be something under the tree. Because there's no worse feeling in the world to think you did not give your children something that you think they deserve. Not that they won't, but and kids aren't cruel anymore. And say, "Oh, guess what I got for Christmas?" And you don't want your kids to be the kids that show up and say, "Well, Sandy must didn't like me, or I wasn't that good," and their presents be empty. But I was going to ask y'all remember the Christmas parades growing up? I know I'm a little older than JP, and Scotty's a little older than me, but now you can't even have a decent Christmas parade without having armed security, trucks packed full of sand to keep people from driving vehicles. And I always tell people, no matter what political side you stay on, anything can be a weapon if it's used with bad intent. But our Christmas parades ain't what they used to be, because they can't throw candy at the kids anymore. Santa Claus come down on the back of a big semi, with these sled and all that, and people throwing out candy and just happy. They had one in Adnan, which is between me and Valerie. They had another big one in Bristol, and I remember my mom and dad's like, "Shut your mouth, get your ass in the car. We're going to the parade. Want some candy?" And you're thinking, and you're so happy. You're standing there with a bunch of other kids you never met in your life, and you're screaming for candy off of the ground like some vagrant.
Yep.
And it's
like you've never had candy before.
Yeah,
in your life.
Right.
But it was special.
It's something about getting it at a parade that makes it special.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Santa would be on a fire truck in Lebanon.
Oh yeah, I remember.
He would be coming down through there throwing candy out, and I mean, how many times have I told my children not to eat candy off the ground?
Oh yeah, sliding right in. Yeah.
And
Go
I'm
get your
standing there
candy, we
going,
go to
"There's
our
peace,
kids'
there's
parade."
peace, go get it, go get it."
Yeah.
Maybe that's the draw, because we're told, but yeah, like Michael, you said, it's this year is the first year in many, many years I actually decorated for the holidays, and I'm more into them. And it's it'll be a good memory. It'll be a good memory to erase all bad ones.
Well, it's the first in your new house and your new life. We don't have parades here. We don't have Christmas parades. I know it happens normally after Thanksgiving, I think, over there, doesn't it? Like, you have Thanksgiving, and then you have the big parade. We don't do that. We don't do it here. We're sort of robbed. We've got the big tree in Trafalgar Square, which is sent over from Norway to say thank you for our help in the war. But literally, that's about it. And obviously the Christmas lights up in London. We don't have this parade. We're robbed.
But another thing I saw, they wasn't going to be able to light the Christmas tree in Israel and Jerusalem, because they figured people gathered in to see the trees would be an easy target, a soft target. And I'm thinking, it's really, really sad, and it should be a time of the year, no matter what your political or religious beliefs, it should be a time of caring and giving back. I got a friend, he'll be out tonight giving out meals to the homeless here. He'll be giving them hats and mittens, even though it's really warm today. We're in December, but he'll be giving out hats and gloves and caps, for these people. And people ask him, "Why do you do it?" He said, "Well, why not do it?" And but I'm thinking,
Christmas is about giving. It makes you feel.
It is.
It is, and it's definitely the season forgiving, and it's what we've been talking about tonight, is that there seems to be very much in the world a lack of empathy, a lack of caring, and very much you know, like as I said today, there's been 3 stabbings in my area just alone, two deaths from them, and it's Christmas Eve. 2 people aren't coming home today. You know, they went out this morning, they're not coming home tonight. And I also think that, you know, I don't feel, when we look, and something with New Year's Eve coming up, which I'm sure Scotty and I will look at on next week, is the fact that what is there? You know, we always must keep a positive, upbeat about all the good things to come. But actually looking at the world right now as it is right now, it's not that easy to look at it and go, it's getting better. Things are going to get easier, you know, because we're all struggling. So this Christmas comes along, and I was saying to my mum, it takes just months to get over Christmas. You time you buy the food, time you get the presents, time you pay for everything. You know, you're looking at your money and you're thinking, oh my God, that's just gone just like that. And now I've got to like make up what that money I was going to spend. It's a really stressful time. And I think that if there's going to be, you know, before we end Wicked Women, like, you know, what is it we're holding on to get us through these tough times, especially with Christmas. And if we could ask Santa for anything, and I've already asked me and Val, you know what, I'm going to ask each of us again, what would you like Santa Claus to bring you? And I'm going to start with you, Scotty.
Let's see. Seeing as I don't believe in Santa,
oh, come
I would
on.
ask him to
No, you do.
Looks like Sandy.
You didn't want me to be pragmatic, did you? You wanted a star.
Don't try to make us think you don't. Just go ahead.
Well, let's see. What would I want Santa to bring me? Does it have to be practical?
You can have anything.
Anything.
Like. I want to be the captain of a starship, so I need a starship. Santa, bring me a starship.
Do we have a class?
And I'm not talking about a little. I'm not. Yes, a class.
A Constitution.
It has to be a
class.
Constitution class at least.
Okay.
Galaxy class is better. I like the sleek. So let's go for a Galaxy class starship. That of course, if I don't ask him for a crew as well, then what am I going to do with it?
Well, you could put it. You could just set it outside and sit in it.
I could do that. I could put it. I could be like
all of us up and
a porch pirate. You know, there was a story of an old guy that had a big old boat in his backyard, and it was half buried in the ground. He took it and put it in his backyard as a lawn ornament, and he was the old sea captain in his front yard, or his front yard it was, because, or as you say over there, in your front garden, and. Because he would sit up there all day.
Was there a garage
and have his coffee and what's that, Jason?
A garage. Was there a garage?
A garage. That's what John Ward. I learned that one from him.
The garage.
Oh, what are you going to put a starship in your garage? I think if I could get away with it, I'd ask Santa for a starship, Galaxy class. Please.
Starship. Colleen, what would you ask Santa for? If you could have anything, what would it be?
Oh my. I don't think it'd be anything materialistic. It would be more that, you know, I've seen too many friends and family suffering through the years. And if Santa could do anything, it would be that he healed people and made them feel better and were able to enjoy their life and not be in pain, not suffer.
But you personally wouldn't like anything? There's nothing you personally want?
I don't think so. I mean, years I wanted to be in warmer climate in my own place, away from the crazy.
So you got your present.
I already have that.
You got your present.
But
let me ask you a question before you move on.
My house is pretty much my present.
Let me ask you a question before you move on, Wendy.
Mhm.
Can this Santa, can he deal in human flesh? If so, I want to change my answer.
Yeah.
No, let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, no, Scotty, if you got your starship, you could go pick all of us up and we could all be your crew.
I could get some Orion slave women.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Hey, yeah.
right?
Yeah. I like
No, because that just leads to bad decision.
bad
all
decisions
around.
all the way around.
There's the whole pheromone chemical thing that just messes with people.
There is
no,
that.
no
There is
Orion
that.
slave girls on the ship.
Jason, what would
okay.
Klingon
How about
women,
who was
Beta
that? Can I interject a question that has absolutely nothing to do with anything you want to do with this show or anywhere you want it to go, but I would like to know if I could say it anyway. And before you answer, here's what it is. So, Jason, I'm going to ask you, and I could ask any of you, Michael, you, if you have one, what was your favorite? I wanted to say your favorite woman on Star Trek. Now, I'm talking about, and women, you can come out with your favorite man on Star Trek, but not necessarily like, I'm thinking it could be, was it Andorian? I mean, do you get off with blue antennas? Would it be Vulcan? Would it be Klingon Qapla'? I mean, those Klingon women, they wore some pretty hefty armored bustiers that were pretty cool. So what do you think? Jason, I want to ask you, because you're usually tuned in with me on this
No
stuff.
pressure, Jason. Yeah.
It's a side note.
By the way, that's something I'm not sure I could actually adequately nail it down to one selection. That's a tough one. But honestly, actually, you know what? I've got this. Okay, so as much as I would be absolutely enamored with the intelligence and the logic of a Vulcan woman, that might be a little too much. Especially
too much intellectual, too much logic.
Well, yeah, I might not be logical enough for them, so it may not. You know what I mean?
Why are you doing that? That's not logical. Yes, but it's fascinating.
Right. Exactly. So you know the Klingon women. You haven't seen it unless you've seen it in the original Klingon. But Broken Bones. My body and I have this agreement about pain and injuries. It could be fun, but I signed this contract with it a long time ago.
Just pick one.
I would probably have to say a Trill.
Oh.
And the reason why is because there is enough experience tied into
you got
one
lots
person.
Of experience there.
And experience in however you want to take that. But there's a deep breadth of knowledge. There's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of perspective and things like that. And they could probably deal with me and my own idiosyncrasies more patiently.
Just to make it completely difficult for you, Jason, because I'm coming up with this other question afterwards. What is it? If you could have anything in your Christmas stocking this year, what would you like?
Well,
in your Christmas stocking.
A big stocking, yeah.
A nice. Well, how long's the stocking? No, is it silk? Is it nylon? Is it rayon? What are we going on here?
I'm gonna say blonde, blue-eyed, 6-foot tall guy.
A very nicely shaped calf and thigh. No, actually, believe it or not, I may have already gotten that, which I would want in my stocking or under the tree. I just opened an email today. Somewhere, somehow, God has seen it fit, or whatever you subscribe to in the universe, to deliver me an opportunity, a firm opportunity to leave the ice planet Hoth and not be -45 and lower ever again. during the winter in the form of a tentative offer letter for a position at Scott Air Force Base outside of
Wow.
So
Outside of where? San Francisco, did you say?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah. It would be technically a promotion, so better pay, no freezing temperatures. I'd be 2 states closer to my kids. I'd be back on, or at least have quick access to get back onto Route 66.
Yeah.
I'd be working for a smaller organization, which would be easier to kind of manage from a one.
Well, the big question
job.
would be what would keep you in North Dakota?
I was going to
But-
ask him where he was, that it was that cold.
Would it be the winds? Would it be the snow? Or would it be the?
Yeah.
Well, the winds might keep me in North Dakota just because they're blowing, and if I had to drive into them, I might not be able to reach
No.
escape velocity.
Like taking one step forward and getting blown back too.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's hideous.
So your
if-
Christmas wish has been granted.
Uh,
It's kind of like mine.
it may
I would
very
have
well
to
have
find
been
it
actually.
granted.
Interesting. Well, you must keep us.
I'll be
Up to
back, by
date
the
on
way. I
that.
have people upstairs, so
So
I don't know who I paid off unknowingly or pissed off because I might be walking into something horrible and I just think that
Oh.
it's not. I don't know.
Michael, let's come to you before we end. What would you like in your Christmas stocking? If Santa could bring you anything, what would you like?
Well, we know what that is. Sorry.
With things unforeseen, the way a lot of the sickness and death that's hit towards the end of the year, my plans was to be in England for Christmas, and that has got pushed back. And me and Poseidon was going to fly over together, but they don't like my kind or his kind, either one. So it's, the other question that Scotty.
The Americans are rowdy today.
But it's easy to pick your favorite Star Trek woman. She has her own starship now. 7 and 9 is the logical choice for that. So not only do you get a very, very beautiful woman, but she comes with her own fucking ride. You know what I'm saying? She's got her own starship.
See, y'all, I'm just standing back because I don't know nothing about Star Trek. I didn't watch it.
That's a no-brainer. But
that's somewhere in the Geneva Conventions. You're making a war crime right now, Harbin, by not knowing about Star Trek. I just thought I would let you know.
I was Star Wars more.
Right, that makes it even worse. We're calling the Hague.
What is it in your Christmas stocking there, Michael?
Yeah,
because what is it, if you could have anything on a serious note, what would you like?
I would like for the world to be a more peaceful and loving place and more understanding. I really would, because I've seen what happens when it's not. But I'd like to have the ability to travel like I used to be able to travel. Where money was not sight, and life strain, stress did not hit you so hard and totally reroute your whole plans. But it's just my Christmas stocking. I've already got the passport. I just probably need a what do we call it that was trying to fill out before, because I got to have a visa to go into the UK. I want my visa and enough money for a holiday. That's what I want.
I
like I said, I just want people to be more caring.
Wish.
I want to change yours, Molly?
I want to change mine. I want to win a lot of money.
Ah, good for you.
A lot of money.
Lottery.
But I would not splurge it all on myself.
Oh.
There would be a lot of people that I would pass it off to, such as homeless, such as veterans, such as Michael would be coming to England, or Wendy would be coming.
When you
to
win it,
America.
That's very kind. That's very kind.
When I said that,
yeah.
The thing is, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, we had."
I never said I wanted a lot of money.
We had friends that crawled out of the woodwork when you have lottery. I have the difference of opinion. You know who your friends are and who have stood by you and who you would stand out and help.
100%.
Very true.
Val, if
And
you could have anything
with that
in
being
your
said,
stock. Sorry, Michael, I didn't realize you finished. Off you go. Sorry.
I was going to say, with that being said, with Carlene, I tell people they have no idea how big a heart that Carlene has unless you talk to her, away from here or whatever, from,
love
finding back on stuff. She said, Michael, don't worry. She said, if you can't find it, I can. And,
She gets my
and it was
down
totally
shop,
unsolicited
lady.
or unasked.
So,
Yeah,
Val,
and,
before we end,
I told her, I said, I
would you
cannot
like-
find it.
what would you like in your stocking, Val? Come on, you can have anything you want.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably not the right thing to say.
We know what that was.
Come on, Val, say it. Just say it.
One of those,
Moving
those
high.
stockings that they hang from the ceiling.
Oh, big, huge, like 20-foot long or something.
oh Lord.
No, I would like, I was like I was saying earlier, I would like just a week vacation somewhere that I don't have to think about something, I don't have to worry about stuff.
You've got to come down here, and we've got to go to Shell Island this summer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's when you were younger, you kind of write a Christmas list, and you write down all the things that you want on your Christmas list. I'd like this, and you give it to your parents, and you say, Mom, I really, really want that. I want this. And for me, it was always LPs or 12-inch CD, 12-inch vinyl, and then CDs, and then on for that.
Yeah.
For me, if I could have anything for Christmas, and is I would be given the offer to leave the country and move to, probably, I have to say, I'm torn between, because I have loved ones now in Virginia, but I also have loved ones in Calgary, so I'd be torn by which side of the country I'm going now. But it would be to leave the country, and it would also be to bring back something that I can no longer bring back. And to have extra time with him, and I can't do that. And or maybe just visit. I couldn't even visit heaven, because that would be too hard to leave. But if I could bring anything back, it would be to bring him back and keep him here, and that's not possible.
I never want to go through what I went through last week. I never want to have to do that again.
That's why I said it would be the best gift would be that pain and suffering is just null and void, and you don't lose loved ones. No. Unfortunately, it happens, but I always have weird expectations. I'm like, you know what? I want to keep the people around me I love forever and that I care about. But when I lost my grandmother, it was so much easier because I had a whole new group of people, you guys, that I knew if I was gonna melt down, that I could message any one of you and it would be better. And it really was awesome.
I feel really blessed that I've met this wonderful extended family.
Yeah,
like a couple of years ago.
Extended family.
I'd never done a podcast in my life, and Mark was like, let's do Strangely Us. Let's get Strangely Us up, and we did that. And he said to me, my God, you've excelled now. You've gone from strength to strength. And then obviously Scotty and I started, and then with Wicked Women. And I think Val and I were really determined that we would bring this show no matter how shitty we felt. And over the last couple of weeks, we felt so shitty. We wanted to, and it's not always plain sailing with some of these podcasts. You talk about good stuff, and but there's also a lot of shit going on in the world. But I think that I have a wonderful family in Calgary, and I have a wonderful family in not just in Virginia, but in other places now. And I'm very, very blessed. I can actually get on a plane to America and not feel alone, because I've got wonderful people that I consider, Val, for instance, sister from another mother, like literally, I'm so blessed to have met all of you.
Let me tell you, the day we find out you're landing in Virginia, the airport will be overrun with people.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime you want to get a ticket and send it over, I'm your girl.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I
but-
think we all met each other
but you
for
know
a
what?
reason.
I think so, Val.
Everybody,
I think we
they
did.
say people meet each other for a reason.
Absolutely.
And you know, like I said, you guys, I met most of you through JP. I met through this year, but the rest of you I met through KB show. And
He's
let
a
me
good
tell
guy.
you brought a lot to my life and made, even though sometimes I don't say it, have made some things that I've
Bless
gone
you.
through
Thank
so
you.
much easier because I knew whether I reached out or not. That
Yeah.
there was always somebody there that I could talk to and wouldn't judge.
That's really important, actually, to meet
No.
It
someone
is.
that's judge. No. Go on, Michael. Sorry.
It is. I was going to say, next Christmas we all need to make arrangements to do this in person and put it out.
Yeah.
Everybody bring their
No.
laptop, their mics, and their little camera, and we all do it.
That would be that'd be
Yeah.
great for everybody to get together at Christmas.
Yeah.
And Jason, it's nice that you've
mean,
come
Because, like I said,
join
Say again, over.
it's very nice that you come to join the team, because like a lot of people, we didn't expect a
Yeah.
lot of people here today because obviously it's Christmas Eve. People will watch it later on or whatever because
Right.
everyone's out doing this, that, and the other. But
Yeah.
it's great that you're part of the team.
See, you say that now.
I know.
Give it time.
Sorry
time.
about it. You're just there.
One cigarette and you're out the door.
Yeah.
You noticed she didn't ask.
Yeah.
She kind of just
Gotta learn
told
to hide
you.
it better. No.
Fair enough.
The other day I popped on. I tell them Wicked Women was here on Sunday, and Barbie D. Barbie's sorry, she's already left. I got a message popped up said, when she sees you smoking, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
I thought, what the hell is this? Is that everybody's
She booted
rallied
me
against
out of the
Michael
room.
smoking?
Like straight up.
I'm like,
Nobody's smoking. And
She
I
has
learned
that
better from,
itchy
like, day
trigger
one.
finger.
I was told
See, Val knows because she's like
That's
this.
it.
You can't see. I do have it, and it's I don't have it on Robertson. That's completely Scotty's control, but I do on here. But for me personally, I just want to say, because we're coming up to 5 minutes before it's actually Christmas Day in the United Kingdom, so it's very lovely that I've got to spend
Merry Christmas, Doc.
Christmas
Yes,
Eve
Merry
with
Christmas.
you guys. And I just want
Merry
to say
Christmas.
to each of you, Carlene, you've been such a support, and you went with Henry and everything, and the messages, and going into Walmart and buying me these Basset Hound things and
Yes,
stuff.
I gotta get that to you. I've been searching for the other piece that you sent me a picture of, and
Thank
I'm
you
like,
so much. I mean,
yeah,
Jason and I
I'll find it sooner or later.
You will. And Jason and I knew each other years ago. I mean, actually, Jason and I go way back, long. And we were actually saying to each other the other day, who actually deleted who? We were friends.
No,
I don't remember deleting anybody, but you know what? I've
I
dated
don't
a couple of
remember
very
either,
insecure
but
women where I have deleted people, so I don't know. That could have
It's
been me.
so nice to have you. It's so nice to have you back in my life.
Well,
And
I'm glad to be back, but I do have a question for you.
oh, go on, give it to me.
So, if I start coming on the show and I'm wearing a tux, can I smoke then? As long as I promise to speak like this the entire time.
Jacket.
Well, I don't
I'll just
know.
sit there and I'll call you Moneypenny. Oh, lovely Moneypenny.
No, you need a smoking jacket, not a tuxedo.
And you know what, Michael is so supportive, and he promotes Wicked Women every chance he gets. I've seen him talk to people on the street. You need to look at Wicked Women 888 on YouTube. He's such, Michael and I've known each other a year, and we met through Bow's show actually a year ago, and it was he's been such a blessed friend and a great support in my life as well, so I'm incredibly grateful to have him in my life, and he's a wonderful promoter, that's for sure. And he's seen me through some dark times in my life, and when my mum fell down the stairs and I wasn't great, and he's helped with support me with Henry, so I'm incredibly grateful. And to Val, who is has been very silently, very 100% supportive in so many ways that I will never be able to ever thank her enough for. And she does the silent messages as well, and I've got a little box which I've been having. It's been in the back of my car for so long, and I'm sending it over to her soon. And I sent her some gifts over this year. I sent her a pack of the UK over, and she's like, well, I don't like that, or I like this, or I don't like that. And but I'm very
sorry,
blessed.
but the prawn chips, no, thank you.
The prawn cocktail, Chris.
Prawn chips, as in shrimp. Oh my
She was
God!
like, what the hell is
Oh.
this?
Yeah, that,
Oh,
It's that big,
what?
fart smell when you open it.
oh
The
yeah.
prawn cocktail crisps.
Well,
Yeah.
It's like
Speaking of
I
smells,
never did find your cookies.
speaking of
Wendy.
smells,
Yeah.
I just had to walk upstairs. We've got company over and relatives, and I walked upstairs, and halfway up the stairs, I'm hit with a weed smell.
I was
And
gonna
I'm
say,
like-
have you had your muffin
the
yet?
devil's lettuce.
I'm like, are they? No, I did not. But my brother-in-law brought me candies that he made. But so I haven't had one yet. But
Somebody have a
so I
Merry
walked
Christmas
upstairs
now.
and I could have sworn it was smoky, and everybody's playing cards up there. They're all making noise and laughing, and half the people up there smoke and pot. And so
Man,
Well, you're in for a good Christmas.
I said, "Are y'all smoking in the house?" And everybody was like, "No, man." I go, "Look, I don't care." I said, "If you want to." I said, "I don't care." I said, "We're sorry." I said, "No, don't be sorry. It's not my rules." And I said, "I don't care if you guys want to smoke up in the house on a holiday. I don't care." And they said, "Well, maybe Rowan's burning a candle with my daughter, my 12-year-old." And I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, she's got her weed candle going over there."
Little.
So my brother-in-law just offered me, as I was coming back down, he offered me, he says, "So you want to step outside with us on the back deck?" I said, "I'll be back up in a little bit." Down
Oh,
that candy, damn it, says
God,
Steph.
Scotty's gonna sleep well tonight.
He
I
is.
fell asleep. We had dinner, and I didn't eat a big dinner. I didn't gorge myself. We had some ham and stuff like that, and I was just tired from the day, tired out. I got up tired. One of those days, and I fell asleep. I think from about
It's
3:30, 3:45 to 5:00. That's when I got your message.
I need more people at my house tomorrow. I'm making cheese and pepperoni with the crackers. I'm
Wow.
making
Does this open up?
sweet and sour meatballs. I'm making prime rib with mashed potatoes with bacon
Nice.
and cheese. I'm going to have enough food for 12 people.
I
Nice.
too am making a prime rib tomorrow
I'm making a prime rib tomorrow.
for myself.
It's
Oh,
now-
It's going to be me.
I have to say, it's officially midnight in the UK. So
Is
we
that
are
the end of your
Merry,
show?
Merry Christmas
Merry
Day.
Are you going to turn
Christmas.
into a
Let's
pumpkin?
say,
Very
Merry
good.
Oh no, it's the other way around. It's Christmas Day. I got it.
It's
I got
Christmas Day. It's
it. I'm
actually
slow on
officially-
the uptake.
I want to tell Wendy, my girls and I, are gathering
Oh,
things for you, so we don't have your box done. But my daughter has used her artistic ability to make you
holy cow!
something.
Oh,
And I ordered things to put with it. So
yeah. I must send you that stuff over as well, because I have
yes,
some of the stuff that we talked about, and I was
Right.
like, I must send it over to you as
but
well.
Megan
Cheers.
has
Cheers.
used her ability on you.
And we
on
lost Scotty.
something for you.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you
But
so much.
It'll take a couple of minutes to set it.
I feel like everybody that I've met through my show, Ken's show, my hat keeps falling. Scotty's show, everybody. I feel like I can truly call everybody true friend
Hmm.
because I
Yeah.
know that, if I ever need anything, I know who I can call.
Oh,
I'm 5 hours away,
absolutely.
but if you need
Yeah,
me, I have a lead foot.
But I mean, you know what I mean. Even if
No,
it's
but I'm
nothing
saying, you
but
ever need anybody, like
but
I
an
said,
ear.
I'm now officially about 5 hours away from you.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I
5
have a
hours.
lead foot. It would take less than 5 hours.
Okay. But you're talking about sending the boxes. 2 things
Yeah.
you need to remember shipping internationally. Make damn sure you have all the numbers right.
That's
And
right.
two
Mhm.
is they ship by weight.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was told I like this, and this. I'm thinking, I'm picking up. I thought, well, that ain't that much. Then I thought, well, what candy bar do I want to send? Dump the whole bag in there. I'm not thinking I bought a 5-pound bag of candy bars. I'm just
I
thinking,
remember
How'd
you
that
telling me
work?
about that.
and I dumped all that in there, and I filled
Huge.
this box in. And I remember I walked in, and the same poor lady helped me out. But the second box was a bigger box. The first box went around twice. It made it to her street. Then he brought it back to me, and the guy's like, "Oh, somebody sent you a box." I said, "No, dickhead, that's my box. It needs to go back." So back to the post office I went,
It was,
and it
the
finally
first
showed
parcel
back up.
was a nice box. The second box that come through was massive, and my
Yeah.
mom was like, "Jesus, what the hell is in this box?" And there was so much in it, and I still have the bear and the books and the smellies and all the kind of stuff I had on
Wow.
that.
He sent you his
But-
dirty socks.
No.
I've got the smellies.
Got,
The smellies, the body wash and stuff. I was like, "Oh, can you get me that?" Because I've not been to Calgary this year to get my usual.
And,
So, but I mean, just before we go, what are you all doing for Christmas? Are you all spending it family or with own? I mean, obviously Val's in a difficult position because everyone's got COVID. So
With
we're gonna
me
have
and
to
my
make
baby
room.
kitties.
What are you doing, Scotty? Are you at home?
At home, my son Sam is coming over with his girlfriend within the hour. My in-laws are here, and they aren't going to spend the night though. So it'll be tomorrow, and my twin daughters are up visiting their mom's side of the family, but they're going to stop by here in the morning on their way out there, and because it's right on the way.
Yeah.
And so we'll see them tomorrow, and then I think the day is open after that. I don't think we're doing anything all day. No big plans, so we're sticking around home.
Because I think we're back with Robertson on, is it
Next
Boxing
day?
Day night?
Or
Boxing
2 days
Day
from
night.
now, yes.
Yeah. So Tuesday night, Scotty and I will be back with Robertson in our sort of Christmassy, New Year, something like that. Colleen, what are you doing? Are you at home? You got people coming round?
Nobody coming around that I know. I know I have a older gentleman down a few places down from us, and I'll make sure he has a meal for dinner. And the one right next to me, the young guy, he's in the service. I'll make sure he has a meal, but it'll be just a quiet day with me and my husband. I'll make a lot of phone calls to friends and family that I want to speak to personally that day, and just kind of sit back and relax and watch Macy's Day Parade and take out on a lot of food and just kind of take it easy.
And Jason, you were saying you were about to cook as a prime rib. What are you doing?
Prime rib. Yep.
I would love to smoke it, but it's too cold to do that. So,
And it's too big to wrap up in paper. So.
Yeah.
Michael's going to.
Why does everybody want to talk about my meat all of a sudden? I don't understand.
Well, I'm making prime rib too. So
You brought it up. I mean,
Jason's
I'm
got his own UK fan club now because a lot of my friends are noticing Jason. They're like, who's the hottie? Who's? It was just, Michael obviously had that kind of like, John role on his own, but now Jason's come along and they're like, who's the hottie?
It takes some weight off my shoulders.
What hottie? What hottie were you referring to,
go.
Jason?
Jay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
What's
Jason's
that?
the hottie.
Apparently,
She said,
I don't
Oh,
know. I
see, you don't necessarily have to
That is beautiful, Val.
But my husband has his
Be of that
lottery
persuasion to
tickets
think that
for
a
the
man
next
is
couple
hot.
days. So let's all just keep our fingers crossed. Oh,
There he is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
That is
But you
so
know,
That's what Megan, my daughter, painted
Oh
for
my God,
Wendy.
Scott! I mean, that is him. I mean, look at those eyes. You
yeah,
can see.
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what she said? She said Scotty. She said the hotties on the end, not Scotties. She said, she said the two hotties, not Scotty.
Got it.
Yeah,
I thought she was
no.
talking about people on her. I missed part of it, and I didn't know what her reference point was there.
So,
Was she
Wendy
talking
asked
about
us all what
Jason
we're
being a
doing. What
hottie,
are,
Michael
what are
being a
you
hottie?
doing later today, Wendy?
You what, lovey?
You asked us what we were all doing for Christmas.
What am
We
I
still have a
doing?
few hours. What
Yes.
are you doing later today?
I am.
What are you doing, man?
Wait,
What am I doing?
I'm a hottie.
12 o'clock at night.
I am.
Waiting for Santa Claus.
I'm
You
going to.
want
I'm
to
gonna
hop
be
on the good
spending-
foot and do the bad thing.
I'm going to be spending it with Mom. Mom's going to come for dinner, and I have two other people who are very lovely and very special going to be with me, and then also I'm going over to probably see my sister because my dad is up, and I'll probably go and see him, and then that will be my Christmas day, and then Boxing Day is probably just like eat what's left of the food, and then I'm back here again Tuesday night, and then you know it's like my birthday is around the corner. I'm trying not to get there too fast, actually, but actually it's starting.
When is your birthday, my dear?
January the 16th.
Oh wow, okay.
It's not that far away, but I want to thank all you guys.
So Cappy,
I'm a Capricorn, darling.
I'm on the cusp of Capricorn and
On the cusp.
See,
I'm a Leo. It fits well.
we've got a Scorpio, which I think is Scotty, isn't it? Or no, you're a Saggy, aren't you?
I'm a
Saggy.
Sagittarius.
And Michael is a Gemini. We have a cusp with Cappy and Aquarius down with JP. And Colleen being a Leo. And Val, tell us what you are.
A Virgo.
She is a Virgo. That's why we get on so well, because we're fellow Earth signs. But literally, I want to say thank you to everybody that's come on tonight onto Wicked Women. I am now going to go to bed, but I've got
Go to bed and try and get some sleep.
I've got some presents to wrap up and things to do, and I'm just bringing up the final comments here. Where are they gone? Here we go. That candy is kicking in, she says Steph.
It's starting to.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can look. His eyes are kind of
My
droopy.
eye won't stay on, guys.
My eyes get squinty.
Yes, that's what
Mine
I
gets
said.
mine are squinty all the time. I can't see.
But I just want to say that famous book that my mother always read to me before I went to bed on Christmas Eve is Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Have a wonderful Christmas wherever you are, wherever you're watching us from, whenever you watch this program, because we know everyone's busy. But you know, well, Wicked Women will be back, all being well, fingers crossed, on New Year's Eve, which means you may get to see the United Kingdom actually go into New Year's, because obviously I will get there before you do.
Wow, that'll be cool.
Please come and join us, and I will see you on me and Val.
For a look into the future, join Wicked Women next Sunday night.
Bit of Wicked on a Sunday. Val, I love you.
Love you.
Scotty, Michael, JP, and the lovely Colleen. Thank you so much, and I will see you all again soon. See you soon, darlings.
Good night.
Good night.